Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 12th meeting of the Aiken City Council. If you are so inclined, please rise for the invocation, followed by the pledge. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down upon those who hold office in the city of Aiken the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people. In your name we pray. Amen. Chief, would you come and lead us in the pledge?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before the meeting begins, I will review the guidelines. Meetings are public forums in which many opinions are expressed and the business of the city must be conducted. As such, disciplined, honorable, and professional decorum is paramount. Courteous and respectful communication is required. There should be no disruptions from the floor while council members or members of the public are speaking. Anyone wishing to speak must be recognized so that we can retain order as we conduct the business of the city, and all comments can be put into the public record. During public hearings, all questions and statements from the public shall be directed to the chair. If you wish to speak, raise your hand and I will recognize you. Please approach the podium and state your name and address. In order to allow an opportunity for everyone who wishes to address council, speakers should limit their comments to the subject being discussed. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes to address an issue and may only address an issue once unless questions from council are posed to the speaker. During the non-agenda public comment section, each speaker has 3 minutes and can only speak once. We now move to additions and deletions to the agenda. I recognize Mayor Pro Tem Kay Prohl for this agenda item.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. I hope you had a wonderful holiday, and we look forward to a healthy and prosperous New Year. Madam Chairman, or Madam Mayor, there is no additions or deletions.
Thank you so much, and I will take you as having done a motion.
Yes, I move that we accept the agenda as it is printed.
Thank you. I need a second, please. Councilwoman Diggs, second the motion. All those in favor? Thank you. The minutes were provided to council for review prior to the meeting. Is there a motion for approval of the minutes? Councilwoman Price made the motion.
I think Gary reminded me to cut my speaker on, so this is Leslie Price. Motion's made to approve.
And I second.
And a second from Councilwoman Morgan. Any comments or changes? All in favor? Thank you. There is one presentation on the agenda tonight. It is a status report on Tribute Parkway, which we initially referred to, if you'll remember, as the Powerhouse Connector. Mr. Oliver Weston, project manager with Benish, is present to give this update. Mr. Beedma, will you please introduce this item and Mr. Weston?
Thank you. This project was first conceived in 2006, and funding was initially provided in 2022, and Benish has been the design engineer for this project. It is in 2 phases. The first phase broke ground the week after the 2025 Masters Tournament, and Mr. Oliver Weston is here to provide an update as we are approaching 9 months of construction work. So, Oliver, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Stuart, and thank you, Council. Before we start, I'd like to go ahead and thank the city staff for help pulling our presentation together and providing some of the video footage that you'll see tonight. As Stuart and Madam Mayor mentioned, my name's Oliver Weston. I'm the project manager for Benish on the project. With me tonight is Vic Conover. He's working on the project as the lead drainage engineer. And like Stuart said, we're almost 9 months into construction now. we issued notice to proceed in April, and we're looking at a 465 calendar day schedule. Right now, we're about 60% of the way there. We've got our stormwater ponds, which are shown on the bottom right. Those are about 90% of the way done. We just need to get some nice grass in there. The grading's in, the stormwater's there. And once we see the video, you'll see a nice roadbed start to show up, some curb and gutter. You'll see those ponds that I've discussed. And actually, we'll take a look at that right now. So there you can see the curb and gutter layout with the median in the middle of the road. The hotel is up to the left there. I'm not sure when they're planning on opening that hotel, but we'll be ready for them when they are. Those are the detention ponds for the project. Those are sized to take the stormwater from all the developable areas draining to it. As part of the discussions with the developers, we made sure that our ponds were big enough to handle their stormwater flows. Right up here is South Centennial Parkway. To the bottom of the screen there was Aiken Memory Care. There's the roundabout with South Centennial up to the left. So moving on, that nice patch of grass there to the right of the screen is what we're calling our cross-country stormwater. Most of those woods will be developed as part of, I believe it's Maybom, taking that tract. We've incorporated our road stormwater to provide something for them to tie into. Once they're moving, they'll likely come in off South Centennial to get most of their construction work done. But let's see. But up there we've got Whiskey Road out there. We are anticipating that the contractor will be out along Whiskey Road shortly after Masters this year, trying to make sure that the new signals are working, install a new right turn lane for the connector road for Tribute Parkway. But overall, the contractor's making great progress, and we expect them to be finishing up in August of this year. With that, are there any questions?
August of
2026.
That's this year.
And what about phase 2? When might phase 2 begin?
Phase 2, we're working with DOT to address some final comments. We're also working through the right-of-way acquisition process. Once we have final plans approved with DOT, there's a formality to have the road right-of-way annexed that we're working with the planning department on, as well as some miscellaneous permits through SCDOT to make sure everything's lined up. I believe we said we were looking at early summer.
Of 2026?
Yes, sir.
Do we see anything? Oh, sorry, y'all. Do we see anything current that will delay us from reaching that August 2026 date?
No, sir. No.
Okay.
Contractors aware of their schedule and working very diligently to hit that date.
Okay.
This question is probably for our city manager. Capital project sales tax. How much money came from that? And that question's been asked of me. And the Transportation Infrastructure Bank.
Sure. There was a ballot question from round 4 of CPST of $8 million, and I think almost all of that is dedicated to the road, plus interest from CPST. Also, the Transportation Infrastructure Bank for the entirety of the project allocated us about $21 to $22 million. We also received $8 million for phase 2 from the Federal Highway Administration program. That money had to be obligated by September 30th, 2025, and it was. And I can't say enough good things about how the Department of Transportation worked with us and made this a priority, as much a priority for them as it was for us. And I don't normally speak that positively about DOT, but they did very well there. And those are the primary funding sources. I think we have a little bit of hospitality tax, but so we did rebudget. Yeah, it was a couple $100,000, but it's a plus or minus $40 million project, fully funded.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you so much for this information.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Council.
We will now open the floor to public comments on non-agenda items. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker and for a total of 30 minutes. Yes, sir. Please state your name and your address.
Yeah, it's a new year. Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council. My name is Kurt Johnson, 114 Brewster Way, Aiken.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, first of all. A little update on our homeless situation, unsheltered situation. Last month, this is the month of December, we had 296 reported overdoses. Reported. That doesn't mean they were all that. Out of that, we had 6 fatalities. For the first week in January, we've had 51 reported incidents with overdoses. And we've had 1 fatality already this year. So that's one thing that we're still hitting on. We're working on getting the Narcan out to where it needs to be. Other than that, we are moving people from the street either to counseling or into some bridge housing. I bet I'll let Lex talk about that. We are still having people come in from out of town, and we're dealing with that through the tents, the sleeping bags, the food. One thing we are desperately in need of are MREs. If we can get those, we can kind of slow down the trash that we have in town as well, because they won't have anything there. It's just a little packet, and all it takes is water to make it, and it heats it up. So that's one big thing that we definitely desire. Sleeping bags and tents, that's a year-round thing, and socks and the typical things. But we are addressing more people than we have in the past. We are getting more IDs. We are getting more people to counseling. We last year, our total was 50 that we got housed. That's permanent housing or bridge housing, but that's 50 people that we got off the street. But that's just a minor part of the problem. We're still just going to keep on trudging along. We get 50 off the street, 50 more show up. So I'm so thankful for you all, because you guys have been the ears and you've listened to what we've said, and you're making things happen. And we're just counting on the community overall to continue to help us. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Questions?
Kurt,
Yes, ma'am.
you guys participate in the point in time count. I know they're doing that in Augusta. January is usually the month that they do that. I know the Homeless Coalition does it.
They're not this year.
They're not doing
No.
it? Didn't have
And
enough people?
What it was supposed to be was there's somebody from a different organization, but there's nothing been brought up from that organization. Because if you don't have the training, you're not
Right.
supposed to be able to do this.
I
We're
think-
still going to go out and count.
Last time, I think they partnered with a group out of Columbia. So, I don't know.
No, that's the mock. We don't, I mean, they're the main branch that gets all the funding. They're the government side of it. But we've got our own area here. And we're supposed to take care of our own.
Okay.
So we're still gonna go out and get the names and stuff. We'll get it taken care of. And we're definitely gonna have a better count than we had last year
Thank you.
for money. Anything else?
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
Yes, sir. Mr. Erb? Good evening.
Good evening. Sam Erb, Dibble Road, Aiken. I would like to take this opportunity. I do have something to talk to y'all about, but first I would really like to introduce our Executive Director for Aiken Corporation, Miss Megan Pruitt. Megan. She comes highly recommended, and we're looking forward to putting her to work. So, my concern is now our bridges that we have, Union Street and Fairfield Street. I think it's time that we at least try to dress them up. I know they're not ours, so I think DOT.
Well, Gosh, I jumped the gun. You told me you were going to talk about this. I announced at the end of the work session, I'll announce now.
Okay.
About 4:00 today, the chief of staff of the DOT phoned me and gave me a template. I can insert Aiken information, and we can take ownership of the Union Street Bridge if we desire.
That's awesome.
So that was subsequent, obviously, to our conversation that
Right.
we had this morning.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad to hear that. That's progress. I would just like to let them, they look horrible. You know, we have fences up and everything else and that don't look good. And I'd be glad to sit on some of those, not boards, but, you know, to talk about what we can do. You know, I know there's monies there for Fairfield, but Union Street, I have a couple ideas for, you know, shoring it up. And
they're going to work with us to gain so-called TAP fund, Transportation Alternative Program monies, to potentially convert it into pedestrian type amenity, non-motor, you know, automobile and pickup truck use.
good. Awesome. Well, there you go. We're moving forward. Thank you very much.
They heard our conversation we
go.
had this morning.
Thank y'all. Happy New Year.
Sam, you called that a great question, a great response.
Good evening.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Lex Perry, 1526 South Boundary Avenue, Southeast, pastor of C4 Impact. To add on to what Kurt was already talking about, of course, we do have more people that are coming. So far as C4 is concerned, we are continuing to focus on looking at more available current properties that can be converted into the housing because we know it works. This past year, we've learned a lot. I also created a manual to show what we've actually done. I have shared it with some of you. Obviously, if you want a copy of that manual to show exactly what we do, I'm happy to send that to you, just to either send a copy to the whole council or to you individually, whichever way you like, and also to be able to answer any questions that you have. Of course, the invitation is always open for you to come and see exactly what we're doing. It really makes a difference when you come and see what is actually taking place, because I can paint a picture for you, but to actually see the difference in the people's lives and what is going on, that really matters. And we know that there's two sides of this thing. You know, folks still say, well, you know what? I don't want my property value to go down. I don't want this. We don't want to give a handout. We're not giving handouts. We are truly giving a handout. Everybody that we're helping, they have to put skin in the game. So we have to make sure we change the narrative. We're really looking at this from a different perspective. We're looking at giving people, keeping their dignity, you know, being a part of this community. They are part of our community, they're part of our family. It's not those people. We have to get rid of that. Hopefully this year, we really start to move away from that type of language and actually start coming together and seeing this as our Aiken community that we're hurting. But we have the power, we have the creativity, we have the knowledge in order to fix it, to bandage these things, and actually to bring true healing. We do have that ability if we continue to work together, get the silos down. So I'm hoping that, with the continued help that you've been giving us, that we start to share some additional ideas that we have. I don't have enough minutes to actually go over all the things, but it stems on things that I haven't even shared with you yet, from the bridge housing, some on-ramping to that, and even going beyond that to more permanent housing. We have it. I don't have that in the manual because I didn't add it. I think it was a little bit too much. It's already 41 pages long, but it is a working document. But again, we will continue to add to it so you have the insight as to what we're doing. It is a solution. We're not saying it's the solution. There are too many wonderful, creative, talented people here in Aiken for me to say, hey, we got the answer. That's ridiculous, okay? I'm not saying that. What we're saying is we do have something that works, and it's working, and it's quick turnover. Like I said, we can house people within 72 hours. Let's keep that in mind. We have a lot of empty properties around town, and it only takes a small investment for it to continue to support itself. It's an investment you put in, but it will continue to support itself. And the dignity and everything and the pride that people are able to build into it, it takes care of itself. I invite you to come and see for yourself, talk with the individuals there. We're an open book, and I have always been an open book. So again, thank you so much for all the support you gave last year, and let's make this an even better year. Thank you.
Thank you.
And along those lines, I also want to add the Salvation Army is ready to release their study. And as part of that, Mr. Captain Good will be here January 26th at our work session to present their findings and recommendations to start that conversation.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Jensen James, 138 Florence Street Southwest. Hope everybody had a great New Year. Just a point of clarification, because I do sit on the Aiken County Homeless Coalition. We were approached by another organization that said that they wanted to do a point-in-time count. So we said, okay, if you want to go ahead and try it, do it. Because as I'm sure many of you may or may not know, it's kind of a Herculean task. Also, how you count homelessness using their standard, the mock standards, are a little bit different, so there's some nuance there. So I just wanted to speak to that, because there is nuance there. So, but I love what these guys do. They're doing amazing work, and I'm glad to also be able to play a small role in that. I would just ask that you all continue to help us help our fellow man. And one of the things I personally, I'm speaking for myself now, think might be a good solution is some kind of city liaison that is directly tied with the city to the main organization. Somebody that can help direct it. I think, if anything, silos have been a bugaboo for us for a long time. So some kind of centralized authority that has some ability to do some conversations on y'all's behalf, but also had command of what resources Aiken has, so we're not having redundancy of resources. So that tends to be a problem we do come up with, is everybody wants to feed. Feeding's great. I love feeding my neighbor. I love clothing my neighbor, and I think we can get a little bit better with housing our neighbor. But that's all I have to say. I appreciate you all, and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, Jacob? Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council, Jacob Ellis, Southside, Three Short Court. I'd just like to not ask the status of the tiny home community for the homeless, but I'd just like to bring up the point that every time we approve a housing development or new neighborhood and we put 4 or 5 houses on a 1 acre lot with less than the required separation between the houses, we are already essentially approving tiny home communities. We need to go the next step and get to the point of just full-fledged approving them, because like I said, we basically already have them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak? Okay, thank you so much. Now we will move to approval of the consent agenda. Mr. Beedenbow, will you please read the titles of the items on the consent agenda?
Thank you. We did not have any electronic comments by the 2 p.m. deadline, nor any written comments submitted to the city clerk by 7 p.m. this evening. The following consent agenda items are before you. Approval of the Aiken Municipal Court jury box for 2026. Approval of a resolution accepting an amendment to a deed of dedication from Woodford Trace SC LLC, recorded on June 13th, 2022. Approval of a resolution accepting a deed of dedication for water lines and stormwater lines for the reserve at Hollow Creek Woodside Phase 4, Section 11, Peninsula. And approval of a resolution accepting a deed of dedication for water lines, sewer lines, and related equipment and easements for Hampton Inn Home to Suites Hotel near Oak Grove Road.
Thank you. Is there a motion for this, please?
Madam Mayor, I so move.
Councilwoman Broll made the motion, and a second
I second.
from Councilwoman Diggs. Since the consent agenda does not have comments, we will go straight to a vote. All those in favor? Thank you. All those opposed? There are none. Motion passed. We now have approval and discussion of appointees to various cities, boards, commissions, and committees. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you. You have 18 names for consideration. The following reappointments: David Menier, Equine Committee; Caleb Connor, Planning Commission; Tina McCarthy, Accommodations Tax Committee; Catherine Thomas, Arts Commission; Phil Haggerty, Building Code Appeals Committee; Judy Sennett, Community Development Committee; Butch Robertson, General Aviation Commission; Suzanne Haslip, Recreation Commission; Brenda Taylor, Senior Commission; Chad Ingram, Equine Committee; Teresa Callahan, Housing Authority. You have the following names for appointments to the following boards: Lucy Knowles, Design Review Board; Scott Lissette, Planning Commission; Josh Raines, Recreation Commission; Chad Meldrum, Accommodations Tax Committee; Katie Lipscomb, Design Review Board; Trudy Boyd, Housing Authority; and Mark Carmen, Planning Commission. Also, we do have a vacancy on the Augusta Regional Transportation Study Committee, the South Carolina Subcommittee, Arts SC. Former Councilwoman Gregory held the seat. The mayor is a current member. Council typically selects someone from within their body to serve on this board that meets periodically, minimum quarterly. So that at some point needs to be filled since we have one vacancy. That's all I have today, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Is this a time that we could fill that Arts Commission?
Yes, I mean, you can. I spoke to the Secretary to Arts, which is the County Planning Director, Joel Duke, and we just need to send a letter stating that is the nominee to fill the position.
Do I have the support of any of the council members that would like to serve on this? Or do we need to discuss this further?
We need to do that.
The Arts Commission meets, they schedule 4 meetings a year, once every 3 months. It's at 4 p.m. usually on a Thursday at the County Government Center in the first floor Sandlapper room.
You interested? Yeah. Barbara says she's interested.
I serve on it.
I nominate Barbara.
I nominate.
Second.
Could you consider that? We can go together. And if she can't serve, then we send a proxy, correct?
Yeah, typically, if one cannot attend a meeting, I am a non-voting member, but I can serve as your proxy. One member's absence is a proxy.
Okay, thank you. Do we need? So I don't need to vote on that because she's agreed. Okay, thank you.
You should vote.
We should
You
vote.
need a backup too?
No, we're not, no.
No.
Well, well, I mean, that's up to council, but typically I've served as a proxy, as a non-voting member. So if there is an absence,
And then Lex has gone for me in the past,
that's correct. That's correct.
right? So you feel a vote, okay. Although, all those in favor of voting Councilwoman Morgan to fill that seat, please raise your hand. It's, does she vote for herself? It's unanimous, right? Do we need a number? It's unanimous, and thank you very much. It's very educational.
Yeah, the mayors of most of the other small towns, or most of the other towns and cities in
North Augusta.
Aiken are on it, and Senator Young and Representative Hickson are on it as well.
You find out how slow the Department of Transportation moves. Okay, thank you. So, but we're back to, is there a motion to accept these nominations?
I so move, Madam Mayor, to accept these nominations that were read by our city manager.
I so second, Madam.
Thank you. I have a, Councilwoman Broll made the motion and a second from Councilwoman Morgan. Comments from the public? Anyone want to make any comment? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you very much. It's unanimous.
Nominations.
Are there any nominations to consider for our next meeting?
Madam
Yes,
Mayor.
ma'am.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to nominate Deborah Hart to the Design Review Board, Thomas Glover to the Board of Zoning and Appeals, Charles Mealer to the Energy and Environmental, Vivian Dix to the Senior Commission, and Joshua Bowling to Parks and Recreation.
Madam Mayor, excuse me. I beg your pardon. I would like to nominate Sharon Mara to the Energy and Environmental Committee.
Thank you. The next item under old business is second reading and public hearing of an ordinance accepting the fiscal year 2024-2025 audit.
Thank you. This is an ordinance accepting the fiscal year 2024-25 audited financial statements and authorizing variances to the fiscal year 2024-25 budget ordinance. Our auditor prepared the financial audit as required by state law and city code. Malden and Jenkins staff reviewed the audit with council at the December 8th, 2025 work session and reported that we had a clean or an unqualified opinion, which is AKA a clean opinion with no material weaknesses and no instances of non-compliance material to the financial statements. And council approved this at first reading on the December 8th meeting, and it is before you for second reading and final reading this evening, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept this ordinance?
I so move.
Councilwoman Diggs made the motion and a second.
Second.
From Councilman Waldo. Are there any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. We now move to new business. The first item under new business is first reading of an ordinance to rezone 7.23 acres on Rudy Mason Parkway and Wire Road from residential single-family to planned residential and approve a concept plan. Mr. Beagle.
Thank you. You did read the title of the ordinance. So we have before you this applicant. It's approximately 7.23 acres on Rudy Mason Parkway and Wire Road. The applicant is proposing to build 86 units of multifamily development with 4 apartment buildings and 136 parking spaces. The request includes a waiver to the required minimum recreation space. Since it is of this size, it must comply with the PR, Plan Residential Zoning. For any development in PR, this must require a concept plan to be reviewed by the Planning Commission and approved by City Council. The property is currently undeveloped with topography that falls significantly from northeast to southwest. The narrative gives an overview of the development, the concept plan, and a representative architectural photograph of the units have been provided. They are located in 4 structures with 3-story elevations and 86 units with a density of 11.9 units per acre, just under the maximum of 12 units per acre. These projects in planned residential districts require 40% open space, at least half of which shall be improved for passive or active recreational use. The concept plan denotes the required amount of open space, but the amenity total is only about 0.6 of an acre, or 8.3% of the property acreage, which is significantly less than the required 20%, which requires a waiver to the required recreation space to be requested by the applicant. This submitted concept and landscape plans provide for a minimum 10-foot landscape buffer along the perimeter property lines with evergreen vegetative screening where adjacent to single-family residential lines. Additional trees will be provided along Rudy Mason Parkway and with the parking areas, with sidewalks proposed around the perimeter. The property frontage lacks sidewalks, but the sidewalks exist along the other side of Rudy Mason Parkway, and crosswalks have been striped across the parkway at the Wire Road intersection. With the 136 parking spaces, it will provide for about 7 more spaces than required. Handicapped accessible spaces are shown in front of each apartment building with 1 ingress and egress point on Rudy Mason Parkway with an emergency-only access from Wire Road. Encroachment permits for both roads will be required from SCDOT. A ground-mounted monument sign is required at each non-emergency entrance, and the concept plan provides a median at the entrance of Rudy Mason Parkway, but it is sited in the middle of a sanitary sewer easement. The entrance sign needs to be relocated outside that easement. Our traffic management ordinance requires a traffic impact analysis when the proposed development is projected to generate 100 or more trips during peak hour. The application narrative includes the trip generation information that this 86-unit development will generate. And you're looking at about 48 maximum peak hour trips. So a full traffic study is not automatically required, but the city's on-call traffic consultant has commented that a traffic analysis is needed for a driveway capacity and turn lane review to confirm that left turning traffic to Wire Road will not conflict with the proposed apartment traffic turning movements. The project is also located along a section of a roadway identified as part of the high injury network in the city's Safe Streets for All Action Plan, SS4A. Those present at the Planning Commission's meeting on December 9th unanimously approved the application with the following conditions. First, the waiver is granted to provide 13% of the required 20% active or passive recreation space. Second, the entrance sign shall be located outside the sewer easement, sanitary sewer easement. Third, the proposed traffic improvements shall be viewed and approved by SCDOT and the City of Aiken traffic consultant, and all recommended traffic improvements and identified Safe Streets for All traffic and/or pedestrian safety measures shall be installed by the developer. Safe Streets for All pedestrian improvements shall include internal sidewalk connection to the sidewalk on the south side of Rudy Mason Parkway with upgraded sidewalk ramps, pedestrian signals, pedestrian level lighting along sidewalks and intersections, high visibility crosswalks on 2 sides of the intersection with Rudy Mason Parkway and Wire Road, and upgraded street lighting at intersection if necessary. A sidewalk shall be constructed by the developer from the proposed development to the crosswalk at Wire Road with SCDOT approval is the 4th condition, and the 5th and final condition is a submission of a revised concept plan and agreement stating approval of the conditions within 180 days. It is before you for first reading this evening.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I so move.
Councilwoman Diggs made the motion. Second.
Second, Madam Mayor.
From Councilwoman Price. Any comments from the public? Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Miss Barbara.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor Milner, Mr. Beedenbook, City Manager, and council members. And forgive me, my vision sometimes gets a little blurred.
A little bit louder.
Huh? Can you hear me? Forgive me a little bit. My vision gets a little blurred sometimes, and I'm in one of those. modes.
Did we stay?
But, my name is Barbara Williams, and I'm president of the Sugar Hill Neighborhood Consortium, and I'm also a resident of Aiken. And I'd just like to say I and we, some of the residents of the North Side, desire growth and the kind of growth that fosters new housing and business development. Aiken will continue to grow, and we want the North Side to continue to be considered for growth. Over the last 2 years, Sugar Hill Neighborhood Consortium wrote to a few companies, and all of them support new rooftops with growth. So while growth on the North Side is overdue, we really appreciate and thank you for the consideration for this and other proposed developments. Just keep up the good work and keep pushing the North Side to further growth. Thank you so much. One other point I'd like to make. We also think that the South Side is congested because we do all of our day-to-day business over there, coming from the North Side, all the time. So we help create the congestion on the South Side. So take that in consideration as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Comments from council? Oh, sorry. Did I miss? Sorry. Good evening.
Good afternoon, City Council, Madam Mayor. Happy New Year to everybody. I was supposed to walk up with them. The only thing I came up to say was, I say yes to what they just said. That we do need more housing, et cetera, on the North Side. And we thank you so much for, as Barbara already said, for what all you guys do. It's hard work, it's not easy, and I know that, and it's very tedious, and I understand that as well. But thank you all so much, and we look forward to growth together for the many things that has been said tonight. Thank you all so much again.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Comments from council?
I'd like to hear from the developers. Like to hear a little bit about the proposed complex, the amenities, and so forth.
Now we're dancing.
Burton Fine, Cranston Engineering, representing the applicant, 815 Stanton Drive, North Augusta.
Ashley Bloom, 1551 Hanson Street, Sarasota, Florida, but soon to be Shaws Fork Road in Aiken.
Nice.
Yes, we appreciate the detailed introduction to our project as well as the support from the public. We believe this proposed use fits the nature of development along this corridor. With construction of the bypass in the early 2000s, one would expect higher density residential uses as well as commercial uses to be developed along this roadway, as it's a 4-lane arterial road that is underutilized. Is it possible to pull up the concept plan?
Yes. The concept plan, I believe, is located on 285, page 285 for, I guess, who's running the computer. It's up, if you look straight ahead, if you look.
Oh, gotcha.
It's on our little screens up here as well. Okay, there it is.
There you go.
There we go. As you can see, we're proposing a 4-building apartment complex totaling to 86 units. The areas shown in green are developed amenities or recreational space to be utilized by residents of the community. some of these amenities include a courtyard area between two of the buildings to be used for various activities. Several sitting areas, one overlooking the pond, one between some of the parking stalls, and then a mini center including some playgrounds, some hammock hanging areas, a picnic cabana, fire pit, and a bocce court. These amenities are not set in stone, but this is something that we envision being developed at a similar scale with the community. There's also a dog park in the lower right-hand corner of the concept plan. The setbacks shown on this development are in line with the RMH district, which is the multifamily. And the plan in its entirety is in compliance with the requirements of the RMH district, which is the multifamily zoning within the city of Aiken. We were required to go for planned residential based on a resolution passed by City Council in 2006, which requires all tracts over 4 acres in size to be rezoned for residential use, must be rezoned as planned residential. The access to the property will be provided from Rudy Mason. We expect this full access to be approved by the DOT at this location, but would require installation of a left turn lane so that it does not conflict with the left turn onto Wire Road. Water and sewer city water and sewer readily available at the site. And we've also reviewed the memo from the Planning Commission and agree with all the conditions they recommended. And we've also reviewed, we also sat in on the work session and are aware of some of the concerns with this development. And would just like to touch on a few of those. One was the reasoning for going planned residential. We actually originally submitted this application to be rezoned for RMH to allow for multifamily housing, as we were unaware of the resolution that planning staff was holding developers to. So with that, we reduced density, provided additional amenities, although we are going for a waiver for amenity space. 20% of this property would require 1.5 acres of amenities, which for a 7-acre property, that's a pretty substantial area. And you would lose units, and you need the units to support the amenities so that they're actually utilized and are feasible to develop financially. With that, another concern was the proposed use isn't in line with surrounding uses. The adjacent property is actually zoned for multifamily use, and this is a very similar scale development to what is immediately next door to us. And that has been a pretty successful lower income housing development, similar to what we envision here. In addition to that, this property is currently zoned RS10. Is probably expected to be a continuation of the adjacent neighborhood, which predates the construction of the Aiken bypass, as well as the establishment of the city's zoning districts. So with construction of that road, you would expect higher density developments like this to be promoted along this road. Stormwater. There were some concerns on stormwater. We've got a detention pond in the lower left-hand corner of the site. This is actually very close to a dedicated, or the 100-year floodplain and associated floodway. So this is a dedicated drainage way that we'll be releasing our stormwater into after it's detained from the site. The last concern was parking. We understand that the city's parking code is very light when it comes to multifamily use. We're currently proposing only 7 spaces over the required minimum. We're willing to put a condition on the development to increase those parking rates based on bedroom counts. We would be willing to do something along the lines of 1.5 spaces per 1-bedroom unit, 2 spaces per 2-bedroom units, and 2.5 spaces per unit for 3 bedrooms. So I think the applicant would like to.
Madam Mayor, Council, first of all, thank you. I'm actually very excited to be in front of you tonight. Give you a little bit about myself, and then I promise never to do this again if I come back up here. But what started out as a show jumping tournament at Bruce's Fields with my daughter 2 years ago, my whole family fell in love with Aiken. As I mentioned before, we have bought a tract of land in the county. And we intend, we're in the permitting process to build a home, and we intend to make Aiken our home. I actually found this property because I come down Wire Road when I'm coming up from my property to get back into downtown. So I drove by it a number of times, and I thought to myself, what is the nature and character of what should go there? And as we heard the people earlier, say the north side does need development. It does need housing and multifamily units. There was a study, I think, as you all know, in August of last year, the city's 4,000 units plus short on housing units. So when we looked at the RMH next door, we took into account that the bypass did take place. We felt that multifamily was the right use here. And going down to 12, just under 12 per acre is consistent with the Old South property that's right nearby. That's, I believe, what they have in terms of density. We are, as a part of this, this parcel was split into 2. We do intend to do commercial on the other side of Rudy Mason. We don't have a plan for that yet, so that's why we're not here before you. So we think, attainable market rate type housing is what should go there and is the nature and character with what's nearby. And in order to do that, to keep the rents attainable at a market rate, you do need a certain amount of density, and you also need that density to provide the amenities from both a utilization and a financial feasibility. So that's just a little bit about who I am and a little bit about what went into coming up with this plan that you see tonight before you. So thank you. Happy to answer questions.
Thank you.
We want to thank you all for having an interest in Aiken, number one. Secondly, the question has been asked, how much would this market rate be given what you're developing there?
The actual rents won't.
I know by the time you get it.
Yeah, it costs and we sat in this and heard about impact fees and the exponential increase in those. But we have studied the market. We use tools to study the market, and right now, if it was a 1-bedroom, you're probably looking in that $1,200 a month and to maybe $1,700 a month. But it's really hard to say till you get the costs down. But we're looking for this to be workforce attainable housing, and that's the goal.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, a few questions, yeah. I guess one thing I always like to see when I review a plan is that what you're proposing is what you're going to build. And I was a little taken back by the recreation, but listing all the things you're going to put in there, but it's not set in stone. I think now is the time to set it in stone. We can't be approving something and then you don't provide the dog park, you don't provide the gazebo, you don't provide the bocce, and that's what we were led to believe you're going to do. So can you commit to everything that you put on paper?
Yeah, I mean, this is a 7-acre property. It's not
a what property?
It's a 7.2 acre property.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What you see here is kind of what you get. When I say it's not set in stone, I mean, Mr. Bloom here is a developer, but he's not a vertical builder. In order to market this property to partner with a vertical builder, it needs to be zoned properly. In order to get a planned residential zoning, we're required to provide a concept plan. We can commit to certain architectural standards, hardy plank, board and batten, brick, combination of any of the three typical architectural standards for something like this. We can commit to certain amenities, but an exact amenity of program may be contingent on the end user or who's going to own and retain the property in the long run. So we can commit to a scale of amenities as what's before you, but the exact program, maybe we could come back for that approval, but to commit to that at this time is just not feasible.
That's a little concerning, concerning there. You have agreed to provide parking at 1.5 for 1, 2 for 2, and 2.5. How many more parking spaces will that generate?
We expect to split, just approximation, a split of 50% one bedrooms, 50% two bedrooms.
I mean total parking spaces. You have 136 now.
So if we split the bedroom count by one bedrooms and two bedrooms, 50% each, that would be 1.75 spaces per unit.
Are you have
another 20 spaces.
You have some 3 bedrooms?
Additional 20 spaces.
Okay.
That's what that would be, but it would be contingent on bedrooms, which is, based on the study in the memo provided by yourself, that was kind of the most restrictive, or
I think it's logical. I mean, to
logical.
have 1.5 bedroom and 1.5 spaces for 1 bedroom, 2.
In my experience
for 2
with
bedroom.
these types of developments, the owner who's going to own and retain the units and rent them, they've got their own parking standards, typically a whole lot higher than what's required by municipalities.
What I'm saying is what we're approving is this plan.
Yeah, and
So-
we're willing to put that condition on the development.
That's like, but again, when you provide this 20 more parking spaces or similar, that will decrease, and where you're putting those, and that will decrease your open space. It'll again decrease the already variance you're asking for the recreation open space.
Previously, we have the 13% amenity space. We understand that if we can't program this, we'll have to lose some units. I mean, that's just the condition that we'll live by. So I think the idea is we're not looking to come back and reduce now the amenity space or the open space. We understand that under this new agreed parking, we'll have to program that in, and if it makes less units or more one bedrooms or whatever it might be, we understand that that's the program we'll have to go under.
Okay. That's my questions toward. I have comments, but I have no more questions for.
I would like to clarify just one item on the waiver request. That is that we originally asked for 8% developed open space, and after some discussion with the Planning Commission, we decided to go with to comply with 13%, which is equivalent to the building coverage on the site. So we increased our original ask by 5% to satisfy their concerns. So, is there any other questions for us?
No? No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Todd Still, 1982 Banks Mill Road. I've had the pleasure of knowing Ashley Bloom for basically almost the exact year now when I first met him, and looking at land with him. And I can honestly say I've met his wife, I've met his children, and they are planning on coming to Aiken to live. They love Aiken, and his wife is more excited than he is. so they're definitely coming. One of the things I'm dealing with is the piece of property he bought. He bought a piece of property, it's about 80 acres. might be a little bit more than 80 acres, but it is in land conservancy, so he can only use 4 acres on the whole tract of land. There's lots of rules he has to adhere to, and he adheres to them. So, but we're building a gorgeous property out there. Everything will be gorgeous, what he wants to do. He'll follow the letter of the law. He's also been involved in Aiken, and he is a commercial real estate guy from Sarasota down in Florida, but he believes in doing quality stuff and how he does it. So he's already looking at some other properties in Aiken to buy and improve. So, I mean, he's here to stay, and this is where he wants to live, so he wants it to be nice for what he's trying to do. But, and I will probably be assisting on making sure that this has got the right plants and everything's done right so it looks good, because we will be coming back for other projects. You got any questions for me?
Can he get us a grocery store?
Pardon? A grocery store?
Grocery store across the way.
You never know. I actually remember driving out there. My sister lives out on Wire Road for the last 40-some years. But I've been driving that Wire Road, and we used to come up behind the police station, and there was that little white building. We used to always stop in there and get firecrackers and stuff before we were going out further out in the country. So, yeah.
He's a little bigger than that,
A little
Todd.
bigger, okay.
So just a quick.
I'll have him work on that. All right,
So just a
thank you.
quick question.
Sure.
Just hate to be argumentative, but you said the Mr. Bloom is a good builder, but we heard before that he's not going to be building this project.
Pardon?
Mr. Fine said Mr. Bloom will not be building this project.
No, I didn't say he was building that. I said I might be involved in the landscaping.
That's not what we were told.
Pardon?
We were told that Mr. Bloom is not a vertical builder.
Okay, I realize that, but I might be involved in the landscaping of the project. That's what I do for a living.
Right, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, sure.
I just want to address the comment about actually being the vertical developer. I am new here in town, so I'm here in front of you saying that I would look to partner with a vertical developer because, you know, I've done this for 28 years, and I know you to come into any new place, you're going to have to find the right partner from the vertical side of it. So that, just to clarify your statement, that's the intention, is to find a partner that has experience locally in the area that's done the vertical side. So I just want to make sure that was clarified. Thank you.
Thank you. And they have a very fine reputation, Cranston, so. Okay, any comments from council?
Regarding the north side, and I keep harping on the similar comments as it relates to the north, east, and west. And I want to applaud those individuals that have lived on the north, east, and west over the last 40 years, as we've seen growth occur elsewhere. And we've said to the residents, be patient, it will come. The growth will come on the north side. The infrastructure will come on the north side. Now that it is coming, what we hear is stop growth. What we hear is there is an issue with water. I will tell you that we will do our best to continue the growth on the north side of Aiken. We have a great beginning that's already occurred. City Council has been on board, understanding that the need is there, and they have always said it's coming, but just give us time. And I thank you all for being advocates, letting others know, be patient, it will come.
Thank you.
Got a comment I would like to add to Ms. Leslie's point, and also Ms. Barber. Far as the grocery stores and retail go on that side of town, my district, as you know, District 5, we are pretty much to capacity over that way for development for anything right now. So expanding the rooftops to the north side, I think, would be beneficial to get started in that pathway for restaurants and retail on the north, east, and west side. I think this will help kind of get that process rolling. And eventually I love to see, go on record saying I would love to see eventually a major grocery store and some retail restaurants. And I'm not saying restaurants as in some fast food, but some quality restaurants on that side of town, because we waited, too long enough. So I think now is time, and I'm looking future. This will alleviate the Whiskey Road congestion and also the congestion we'll see on the Potter House connector future-wise. So just want to throw that out there.
Let me just add, Madam Mayor, that we had a session last week regarding traffic flow on the north side. And I admittedly said, I'm one of your problems. My husband is one of your problems. I have 2 kids that's your problem. Because of what a certain portion of our town offer and the services and the things we're looking for, the attraction is not on the north side of town. And so what you do there is you try to achieve a balance. I have been told by hotel owners and others, Leslie, you all don't have enough rooftops there. So we've got to look at things in ways where it is an attraction to attract the things that we need. And certainly I want to say to those who do not live on the north side, I appreciate your advocacy too, and the need that these individuals are looking for in terms of not only hotels, grocery chains, but really something to be competitive, not competitive, but something that will attract people to the east and west side of town. And it's happening right now, and I thank you for your support as well. Gail and I should say. So,
Madam Mayor, I would just like to echo what my colleagues have said. It's exciting to see someone like Mr. Bloom move here and have such concern and love for our community that he's willing to take a risk to do this, and to hear the neighbors come out and speak on behalf of it. So I think this is something that we've been waiting for a long time, and I think it's a good thing.
Thank you for saying that.
Madam Mayor, may I be the?
Of course.
Barbara,
Go ahead. No, you go.
Time in. I'll go last.
No, go ahead, Pete.
Sure.
You go.
Well, Mayor, I am all for growth, especially on the north side. I'm just very concerned about this type of growth on this property. If this property is presently zoned for homes on 10,000 square feet, the same as we have on Martin, same as we have on Alfred, and I don't see no reason why this property could not be developed in that fashion. There's actually a stub off of Martin Street that goes right into this property, lending itself that past planners and past city council people assumed that it would be developed. It's a steep terrain, very tough piece of property, which is more easily developed and less impactful on the environment and on stormwater if it was built the way it's currently zoned at 10,000 square foot single family homes. That is still growth, that is still development, but it's not of high density development that crams a lot into a small space. The PR zone is meant for a planned development. It's meant to give a developer some creative license to do something imaginative, do something creative. There's nothing creative or imaginative on this plan. It's just 4 big boxes with a parking lot. So it kind of goes against the concept of the planning, the planned residential area. The planned residential area zone, it states several times, at least 3 or 4 times in the ordinance, that must be compatible with the surrounding properties. The surrounding properties on 2 sides at least are single-family homes on 10,000 square feet. So again, it kind of cries out that what it should be designed at. The concerns of, again, over intensity of the use, it impacts the property. I mean, every tree and every grade is being disturbed on this property. It increases the traffic, by 3-fold. This proposed development will generate around 630 trips per day, and where single-family homes of 20 or 25 homes would be around 200 trips a day. So that's around over 400 trips a day that we'll be adding to the intersections of Rudy Mason and Wire, Rudy Mason and York. So that's a concern. I'm happy that the developer has agreed to the increased parking. It's a flaw in our ordinance, which doesn't make much sense to have a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom unit only provide 1.5 parking spaces. So I'm glad he's proposing that, and I'd be interested to see how he's going to achieve that. There are obviously creative ways to achieve that on this property. So I'm very concerned about that. I don't think is the appropriate land use for this zone. I'd like to see it developed and help the north side in getting more units. But I don't see this being smart growth, and I don't see it being a benefit to Aiken. Sorry.
Madam Mayor, I was struggling with this a lot because I'm concerned about density in different parts of our community. As Councilperson Braylon said, he's full up in his side a lot. The north side, the most poignant thing is you need the rooftops to be able to get the development, to be able to get the amenities. A game changer was the traffic supply. I didn't think about it, but if you needed to get those items, you had to go all the way through Aiken to get to the traffic supply. And now the traffic supply is available for anybody on the north side. They have a much better parking situation and drive-through situation. There is need for appropriate development, the amenities that we take for granted on the south side. And talking to and listening to the developer and the engineer, it makes more sense to me now. Rudy Mason wasn't there when those other houses were built. This is density that is appropriate. There is another apartment complex not far from it. They are complying with various concept plan requirements that are appropriate, more than what they originally thought. The traffic improvements are with Safe Streets for All initiatives. That is a big deal. They're going to construct pedestrian crosswalks and lights and buttons, a big deal. I appreciate the parking increase. They shall submit a revised concept plan later. This is in the concept phase. My concern has always been school buses. If you're going to have children, for goodness sakes, we've allowed different things in the county that make no provision for children in light in the early morning when they're going to school. So I've asked that just as a common sense requirement. But I think they are trying to do what they can on this lot that will be appropriate for its location. And I am going to be voting for it with the conditions of the concept plan.
I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor? And that is 6-1. All those opposed. Thank you. It passed 6-1.
We got to start.
The next item under new business is the first reading of an ordinance to annex 215 Silver Bluff Road and zone it limited business. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you. You have read the title of the ordinance. This is a application for annexation of approximately a fifth of an acre, zone limited business LB, 215 Silver Bluff Road. Those present at the Planning Commission meeting on December 9th unanimously recommended it be annexed and into the city limits and zoned LB limited businesses before you for first reading this evening.
Thank you. Is there a motion to
So move, Madam Mayor.
I second Brenda's.
Councilman Waldo, first motion, and second from Councilwoman Price. Comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. Unanimous. Now we have first reading of an ordinance to annex 447 East Pine Log Road and zone it residential single family. Mr. Beanville.
Thank you. This is property at 447 East Pine Log, approximately 3,500ths of an acre. It is located in the Virginia Acres subdivision. Those present at the Planning Commission at their December 9th meeting unanimously recommended it be annexed into the city limits and zoned residential single-family RS10. It is before you for first reading, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Do I have a motion, please?
Madam Mayor, I so move that we pass this annexation.
Thank you.
A second.
Roll. A second from Councilwoman Morgan. Comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. Next item is first reading of an ordinance to annex 215 East Pine Log Road and zone it residential single family. Mr. Beedenbow.
Thank you. This is an ordinance for annexation and zoning. It is approximately 1/5 of an acre. It is in the Virginia Acres subdivision. At the December 9th Planning Commission, all those present unanimously voted to recommend the property be annexed and zoned RS10 residential single family. It's before you for first reading.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for that?
I so move.
That was
Barbara.
Councilwoman Morgan. Thank you.
Second
from
Price.
Councilwoman Price. Thank you. Any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. Unanimous. The final item under new business this evening is first reading of an ordinance to amend the 2025-2026 budget. Mr. Beedenberg.
Thank you. This is an ordinance to amend the budget of the city of Aiken for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30, 2026 for the general fund and water and sewer utilities fund. We have a replacement of the well at Hidden Haven at a cost of $138,124. Also, we increased cost of chemicals for water treatment and related laboratory cost and general supplies, and that is needs to be reflected in the budget for this current year. Also, I neglected in September when we did carry forward. The city clerk asked for some funds that was budgeted from the previous year for agenda software updates, and I neglected to put that in the budget carry forward. So she's, I think, forgiven me, but we do have that in this budget amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to amend the budget? Councilwoman Broll.
Second.
Second, Councilman Waldo. And any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. I wanted to ask, may I ask one thing? Have we gotten any more money back from FEMA?
Yes, we have gotten back in the about $400,000 of 5.2. Little over 500,000. We have 13 reimbursement requests into FEMA. The largest one is about 3.9 million. We spent about 5.2 million. So we have gotten back, as Ms. Brooks said, about $500,000 of funds.
Thank you. Now we move on to petitions and requests. We have two items tonight, and the first is approval of a resolution to provide water and sanitary sewer services to property owned by Aiken County on Wire Road. Mr. Beanbow.
Thank you. This resolution, you did read the title. The Aiken County owns property along Wire Road, and they are seeking approximately 9 acres of a portion of this tract would be about 9 acres to construct a law enforcement center. The primary tenant would be the Aiken County Sheriff's Office, and it would be between the County Detention Center and the County Coroner's Office. It has water and sewer available. As part of our policy, we had it must meet that criteria for provision of water and sanitary sewer service to unincorporated areas. Those present at the Planning Commission unanimously voted to approve the request with the following conditions. Number one, that an executed agreement on the provision of city services listing conditions of approval be recorded within 180 days of approval by City Council. Second, that an agreement to annex the property as soon as it becomes contiguous be executed and recorded. Third, that the city engineer approve the design of the water and sanitary sewer services. Fourth, a waiver is granted for the tree preservation and tree survey, tree landscape requirements, and tree preservation fee. Fifth, that a waiver is granted for the parking lot and detention pond landscape requirements. Sixth, that a waiver is granted for the requirement of concrete curbs and islands in the non-public area only behind the gates, which will be in the rear of the structure. Seventh, that the sign area comply with the City of Aiken signage regulations. This is before council this evening, a resolution to provide water and sanitary sewer service for the proposed law enforcement center of Aiken County on Wire Road with conditions recommended by the Planning Commission.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept this?
Madam Mayor, I so move.
Councilwoman Broll made the motion, and a second from
I second.
Councilwoman Diggs. Any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. Unanimous. Our final item tonight is approval of a resolution to provide water service to property on Gun Range Road for a proposed recreational vehicle campground. Mr. Beeden.
Thank you. This is an approval of a resolution authorizing the provision of water utility services to property on Gun Range Road. The owner is proposing a recreational vehicle campground with 24 campsites on approximately 8.36 acres on Gun Range Road. The campground will include a septic system and detention pond. The proposed RV sites are 10 feet wide by 60 feet deep. Water service is available at this location. The council, again, this policy for the provision of water and sanitary service which establishes our process and decision criteria for development outside the city limits. Those present at the December 9th Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval with the following conditions. First, that an executed agreement on the provision of city services listing conditions of approval be recorded within 180 days of approval by City Council. Second, that an agreement to annex the property as soon as it becomes contiguous be executed and recorded. Third, that the city engineer approve the design of the water service. Fourth, that the site landscape plan comply with the City of Aiken tree preservation and landscaping regulations. Fifth, that the signage complies with the City of Aiken sign ordinance standards. Sixth, that the proposed cul-de-sac complies with the International Fire Code standards. And this is before you this evening for consideration water service for this property on Gun Range Road.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to accept this?
I so move.
Councilwoman Diggs made the motion, and a second from?
I second that.
Thank you. Councilwoman Price second that. Any comments from the public? Any comments from our council?
I have a question to ask our city manager. Will the rates double?
Yes, this property is located outside the city limits, and property outside the city limits pays double water rates. Basically, they pay the full water rate, as I like to say, and in-city residents get a 50% discount.
Sewage disposal, I guess. Explain the water rates are double. Well, it's an extra half. The sewage disposal, what is?
Well, they will not have to pay sewage. They are proposing septic for this
Okay,
development,
okay,
so
okay.
they will not be billed for sewage.
Good.
Yeah, to piggyback on that, Councilwoman Price, to see that they're going to do their own septic system makes a difference, so.
Right.
They're just asking for water.
So
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. We will now open the floor to public comments on non-agenda items. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker and for a total of 30 minutes. Do I have anyone who'd like to make some comments? Well, with that being done, since no one wants to say anything, are there any items from Mr. Beedenbow this evening?
I do. I've got just a couple of brief ones. I want to remind everyone the City of Aiken's Public Safety Department's Citizens Academy application period is open. You can contact Carl Odenthal for information about registration at 803-502-4862. Registration closes in 10 days on January 22nd, and it is eligible. Members of council, members of the public, staff are eligible to participate, and the classes start January 29th. Again, our Public Safety's Citizens Academy, they've had over a decade of these. I don't know which iteration, but it is very informative to learn about our public safety department. Also, a reminder, we are closed. City offices are closed next Monday, January 19th, in observance of the birthday of Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. And we will have several, the week of January 26th, we've got 3 meetings scheduled with City Council. Our next council meeting is the 26th. Then the 29th, the joint meeting with the Planning Commission at the Leslie B. Price Aiken Senior and Youth Center to discuss the revised zoning ordinance or Unified Development Ordinance, UDO. And of course, New Horizons, which is a public meeting also, will begin at 8:30 on Friday, January 30th at the Center for African American History, Art, and Culture. That's all I've got, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. We will now.
Madam Mayor, are we at the end of our agenda? Okay. I want to introduce someone that is here for his first time, and he is a contractor. He's moved from New York here with 2 children, and he's done the contracting work in New York for 7 years. So, Shelton, will you stand, please, so folks can see you?
Thank you.
That's Shelton Tiller. Thank you for being here, Shelton.
Thank you for introducing him. We will now move into executive session, and I will read the notice. Aiken City Council will go into executive session pursuant to Section 30-4-70, parenthesis A, parenthesis 2, to receive legal advice where the legal advice relates to a pending, threatened, or potential claim or other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege. Settlement of legal claims or the position of the public agency and other adversary situations involving the assertion against the agency of a claim. Specifically, the City Council will receive a legal briefing regarding Blake et al. Versus the City of Aiken. Is there a motion, please, to go into executive session?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Price made the motion. I need a second, please.
I second.
Councilwoman Diggs made the second. Thank you. We will now move into executive session in room 350.
And mine is done as well. Barbara? Barbara here?
I'm standing.
Get on my kids about leaving their trash.
I think he's ready. Okay.
Is there a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
So move.
Councilman Price made the motion and Councilman Broll seconded the motion. All in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I so move.
Councilman Broll made the motion and a second from Councilman Waldo. Meeting is all in favor. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.